How you doing, everybody? Let's talk sports. When spring practice kicks off Wednesday for the UH Warrior football team, there will be some changes to the coaching staff. Today, head coach Greg Mack announced the shuffling of several job titles. First, Nick Rolovich, who had previously been the quarterback's coach for Hawaii, will be the offensive coordinator going forward. He'll continue to be in charge of the quarterbacks as well. Rolo was the primary play caller last season for the Warriors. Former offensive coordinator Ron Lee will now be assistant OC and work mainly with the receivers. He was elevated to the coordinator position 2 seasons ago when McMacken took over and has been on the Hawaii staff since 1999. On the defensive side, Dave Aranda will go from D-line coach to defensive coordinator and will be in charge of the linebacker core. Aranda has been at UH the last 2 years, and that will move Cal Lee from DC to an associate head coach position, working with the defensive ends. Lee became a legend in coaching while running the St. Louis Crusader program for over 2 decades. He moved to Manoa as an assistant in 2003. Tony Tuioti will be elevated from director of player personnel to an assistant working directly with the defensive tackles, and George Lumpkin, previously an assistant head coach, has been recommended to take over the title of director of player personnel.
Basically, it comes down to this, is that just like we move players around to win ball games, it's really the same idea with coaches. They're good coaches. I love them. I just wanted to get everybody in the proper position, in my opinion, so that we can win. The players understood that. The coaches all understand that. And sometimes that's good to mix things up a little bit.
UH spring practice will run from Wednesday through April 30th.
Ron Lee, now assistant OC. Dave Aranda, defensive coordinator in charge of linebackers. Cal Lee, assistant head coach in charge of defensive ends. Tony Tuioti switches from recruiting coordinator to defensive line coach, with George Lumpkin now in charge of recruiting.
As far as coaches, if I didn't like our coaches, I'd fire somebody. I like our coaches. I'm just trying to get them in the position where they can best help us win football games.
I hope you're all having a pleasant evening. Warriors kick off spring practice Wednesday. Greg McMacken says his 3rd spring fling as head coach at UH is his most important, and it'll be his toughest.
We're going to pick up the intensity as far as our spring ball goes, in that we're going to hit a little more. We don't want to hurt anybody, but we've got to get more physical. We're going to finish practices by scrimmaging, overtime games at the end of practice, and that'll also get us working on our red zone. We're going to have short yardage, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1 situations.
Coach Mack says his team's commitment, getting high participation in his new off-season program, is a credit to new strength and conditioning coordinator Tommy Heffernan, who's worked the Warriors.
His group did such a good job of getting our guys ready physically. We need to come out with the same intensity and get better in the spring. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we just have to keep building on what Tommy and his staff did.
First practice of spring drills on Wednesday kicks off at 7 in the morning.